Amazing Lauren from Rebranding Mental Health with us today in the beautiful Duty Street in Manchester. So we're just here to find out really about your journey with setting up this incredible business, all based about mental health and getting out of the comfort zone and helping people. So it's just really a really chill chat just to find out more about your journey and obviously like what inspired you to get into the business.
Oh. Well, it's been 5 years since I started, and it has changed so much. And it was born out of a lot of these things. It was born out of something really painful and loss, and just something that I felt like I needed to do without any explanation or really understanding of it, but just this need that I need to do it. It didn't make sense to anyone around me. It still doesn't make sense to a lot of people around me. And I never set out to work with people in a certain way. I just wanted to teach people how to look after their mind in a simple and fun way. I actually wanted everything. If you are ever struggling, everything is so heavy. If you Google, we all know therapy sessions, it can be really intense. And I wanted something that came after that, where people could really step into their power, learn how their mind works, really understand it, and also how their body works, because there's just not the understanding of, I feel like this, and this is how I navigate it. And a lot of the time we just go into that shutdown, panic mode. So I basically teach people how to find their own way to work with their mind and their body, so they can go out and live the best fucking life that they can possibly live.
That's what we need. Live your best fucking life. And I think at the minute we all talk about all the time, that there's so much pressure now to have your shit together every day. Sometimes I feel like we wake up on the wrong side of the bed and it's okay to just have a day where you're like, I'm going to reset and just sort it out and figure out why I'm in this kind of mood. And I think what's we love about obviously the mental health side of it is how that merges with about creativity, and we'd love to learn about what it actually does to the brain and the psychological aspects of it. So when people are actually taking time out to get creative, whether it's pottery or floristry or going to a class, what it actually does to the kind of feel good hormones.
And what those things do, whenever you are fully engaged in something, and this is what I love about creativity, because I am so creative in my business. Now I have the bravery to just really go for the ideas that I have. It doesn't have to fit in a box, and it doesn't have to be a certain way. But when you are using that creative part of your mind and you're really engaged, you're in flow and you're in the present moment, which means you can't possibly be worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. And that is why creativity is just, it's something that the majority of my clients have found along the way, just very naturally.
No, that's amazing. I think that's the thing is like, we are so much in like a past self or a future self. And I think every human being does do that. We panic about what's happening in the future and am I taking the right path, or if I do this, what's going to happen later? We're probably the same. You're not present. You're not thinking about how am I feeling now in this moment. And I think when you do engage in those kind of activities, it just shuts your brain off. You feel numb. It's like, oh my God, I feel amazing. And I'm not stressing about what happened earlier or had a really crap morning at work or anything like that. So I think it's just amazing that.
And I think one of the really powerful things with creativity and anything where you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is that you have to approach things with a beginner's mind. So you have to accept that, I might make mistakes, and you're learning to trust yourself. So you're bringing all these really powerful, deep-rooted skills by something that's quite fun. Because I think we also, and I say we because I'm still on my journey with this, we also have those perfectionist tendencies for everything to be just right, whereas I think creativity...
Why do we have that? Honestly,
kind
it
of
drives
strips
me
that
mad.
back in ways, if you can get used to it. And I think it can be really helpful to try something that isn't what you normally do, something different.
And that's also so important as well, because if you're so used to So I think like from a yoga background, so my instincts is, oh, I'll calm down by going to a yoga class because I don't know how to paint, or I don't know how to do this because I'm scared about looking silly. And it's really, I think that's what's so important about getting out of your comfort zone in that aspect, is trying something completely new. And that's when you do see the shifts, don't you? Which is fascinating.
And being playful,
Yeah,
and just
we lose
stepping into the child.
Yeah.
I always say that my work is actually about stripping back the layers and revealing more of who you really are. And what happens over the years is we basically go around with a big bag collecting beliefs from other people.
So true.
And I did a session this week with someone. She's like, "Oh my God, I have been carrying that belief around for the entirety of my adulthood." And I was like, throw it back, give it back, hand it over. And just that realization of, oh, I don't have to carry that anymore. I can do things differently. I can really allow myself. A lot of it is almost handing over a permission slip. The shoulds like falling in. I should be doing this. I should be being like this. I should get up. And I'm not one for, you need to do this lengthy morning routine. You need to meditate all the time. You need to just enjoy what's here right now in front of you as much as you can.
It's so true. Yeah, and I think when you start shifting those traits, which is very hard because it's years, isn't it? You think about, I'm like 34 years, and sometimes I'm just in that habit. And why am I in that habit? Yeah, and there's so many things that you have to like unravel. But I think you have to really do the work as well, which I think a lot of people probably aren't open to that. It's kind of, this is just how I am. I'm always going to be like this, but you can change it really quickly.
I think with anything around mental health, and I know this is a bit of a bold statement because it can be absolutely debilitating at times, but it simply starts with a choice.
So true.
Do I want to do things differently? And as soon as some people come to me and they have been through such extreme challenges in their life, everyone I work through has been through challenges, everyone in the world has challenges. But the difference is, like, I want to change. And as soon as they say that, I'm like, yeah, come on in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're carrying. Like, come on, we can work with that. And
that's amazing.
Things can happen really quickly, but you have to make that commitment. It's almost like a devotion to yourself. Like, be so goddamn devoted to yourself that you are going to show up, because there is no one more important in the world than you. And that then has a knock-on effect on everyone around you.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Honestly.
Love it.
Yeah. We're all here for that. We're all here for the positivity. That's what we need. I just find it, I think we actually realise like how we've just spent years sometimes in that pattern. I think that's what I sometimes find scary. In one of the workshops, I think I went on one of your webinars, and I was talking to my sister about it, and there was a bit where we'd done the meditation of your future self. And it was, you'll obviously explain it better than I can, but I remember after just thinking, every time that I stepped back into that past version of myself, I just remember that moment of how I felt and what I looked like, how I came across, how do I get to that future version of me? And that is there when you start making the change and the shift. So if you could explain more about that, that would be amazing.
And yeah, just to add to that, I think it's all about it's not about, with this whole idea around the future self and the higher self, it almost creates that impression that we've got to be someone else. But it's actually stepping into like the fullest version. If I was the fullest version of myself, I would walk in this room and I would know that I deserve a place here. I would know that I'm worthy of speaking up. I would know that I'm worthy of setting boundaries. And it's developing that trust in yourself. And I've lost my train of thought.
100%. No, that is the thing. And it's not having the pressure you say about perfectionism.
Yeah.
Everything is like, but then how do I get there? What do I need to do? Because everyone kind of wants that quick fix. It's like small steps.
And it's so much around like letting go of the to-do list, letting go of that pressure, because we put the pressure on ourselves. Like, oh, but I need to be this. And what we do is we put our pressure, like the expectation is up here, so that we can never ever meet that. So we spend our entire lives feeling like a failure because we can't meet our own unrealistic expectations, which is just wild, because it's as though there's someone there like saying,
you're not
you
good
have
enough.
To be better and better and better, and then you achieve that thing and you're like,
still not enough. Yeah.
So the magic is when you really have that steadiness within you, which is what I work on with people, so that those external things they can happen, but you've got like this. I do a lot of movement because that's a lot of the work that I do.
Yeah.
But you have that steadiness within, so you can have the chaos around, but as long as you've got yourself, you can still feel sad, you can still feel pain, you can still feel anxious, and feel like I feel all those things. Feel fear when I'm doing this, but I can still show up. I can still hold myself through that. And when people get that, it's the best thing in the world.
Opportunities are like endless.
And then you start to attract things because you will have the courage to leave your comfort zone because you'll feel safe in your body.
Yeah, so true. Yeah. Mindset work. This is conversations I want to be having every day. Honestly, but it does scare me. Even when I think about how much, even like recently, like with the pressures and like how much you're in your head, and even like what we're doing with like 2 weeks into this process, and it's like, well, why are we not at that bit, and why are you comparing to someone's 10 years of something? And it's like, why do we do that? Why are we putting the pressure on ourselves? Why don't we just chill and enjoy the process? And we've got this opportunity of life, which is amazing. And why are we like that? I don't know. It's like the human conditioning is.
Yeah, and it's that seeking things outside of us, and that idea that when we get that thing, or we attach our happiness to some future experience. And the thing is with emotions, and what I've learned through all this work, is you can never predict how you're going to feel. So sometimes you think, me for instance, oh, Lauren, in a few years you're going to speak on stage in front of hundreds of people at festivals. Like, no way. Was that one of, it felt easy. It was scary, but it felt easy once I got into it. I would have never predicted that I was going to feel that way, but because I've learned that you just don't know. It's like anything, like going on a date, anything that